Welcome to the Robert Hunt Financial Market Update YouTube live version. Oh, it's exciting. We opened the door for listener questions, and we had a long-time listener write in via an alias. I do not know who this is. I wouldn't share who they were otherwise, but funny alias, Buddy Fox. That's what Buddy says. Robert, I'm a long-time listener and reformed trader. Since the SEC banned me for life for working for a broker-dealer, I am just a home gamer now. So thank you for all you do for us home gamers. My question is this: I am keeping my timeline long and investing in equity indexes, as I've heard that data from you on how that method beats active stock picking over time. But what about how the various indexes perform against each other over a long time period? S&P 500, Russell 2000, large caps, small caps, etc. Why not test them against each other over a long period and pick the best? Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. This is a great question. So David Swensen, who has recently passed away, who was the Yale Investment Endowment chief, really famous investor, in many ways revolutionized endowment investing. When he first was tasked with being an endowment fund investor, he did this very thing. He actually said, you know what I'm going to do? He knows index. I've heard, there are quotes of him saying, pick the index fund. It's the best thing for all investors to do. But he went back and he said, well, what index was best? And when he ran the numbers, he used about an 80-year period, 90-year period. He saw there was an index that outperformed the others. Can you believe that? It was a small cap value index. And it, by a pretty wide margin, beat the other indexes that he looked at. Now, his conclusion was not that, oh, wow, you can put all your money in the small cap value index. Now, why was that? The ups and downs, the undulations. As a pension or endowment fund chief, he knew he needed to have a smoother ride for those distributions to be sent to the university to benefit their programs. But why, as you as an investor, if you have a long enough timeline, can you not simply take that data that did show, certainly the small cap value index was superior over the long haul, and just skip to the front of the line, skip that market cap broad-based index funds that I advocate for, that Bogle advocates for, that Buffett advocates for, that even Swensen himself advocates for? Why not just get to the front of the line? Well, it's tough. So I've got people that do this. Maybe one person. Maybe I just have one person that does this, where they actually will try to slice and dice these indices. What's very difficult is to stick with the strategy over long periods of time. And what's also difficult is we just don't know if what's happened in the past is predictive for the future. It's probable. I do think small cap value probably over the next 100 years, it's probable it will outperform, but I don't know that. And I don't know that I can stick with that strategy. So I'm going to pull up now. I'm thinking off the top of my head here, but this small cap, Vanguard has a small cap value. In fact, they do it. Vanguard has a small cap value ETF. And so you can, and I can, if we want to. Here it is, VBR. This small cap value index, pretty cheap, 0.07%. But something happened recently. Let's take it to the 5-year. Over the last 5 years, it's up 31%. Yay, up 31% over the last 5 years. Okay, over the last 5 years, the broad stock market index is up 58%. Oh dear. What happened? I thought the data showed that small cap value was going to outperform. That was over an 80-year period, friends. So what happens? And I think very few people can do this. When you underperform by that margin, it's basically half. Your return is about half. What if you just done the normal, plain vanilla, regular schmegular index? You're not going to stick with it. All these doubts will begin to creep in. Well, what if that data was incorrect? Or what if the next 100 years is different than the next years? And all of a sudden, you're rotating in and out of strategies, and your results will probably be the results of most investors. They earn about 0%. So studies show that it across different assets and investments and the like, to account for investors buying and selling at the wrong time, the investors' returns are about 0. So what's the way to ensure you get your fair share of the market's returns? choose as simple a strategy as possible, with as low a cost of strategy as possible, that has its permanence. Does the strategy have permanence? And in my opinion, a small cap value strategy does not have permanence. There's more volatility with it as well, which, hey, maybe if you're a long-term person, it doesn't matter. But you will not stick with that strategy, in my opinion. Whereas plain vanilla market cap, what you're doing is you're surrendering to all the strategies, and you're having this one strategy to rule them all, because you're taking all of the market's information, all of the pricing of all the strategies, growth, value, book value, earnings growth, whatever. All these strategies are all being absorbed in the information on price. So market cap takes all those strategies. So I would say, buddy, you can do it. It's permissible. It's not advisable. Permissible, not advisable. Stick with that plain vanilla indice. I suspect that's you're gonna be able to stick with. I don't think a value or a growth or a dividend tilt, or there's an infinite number of flavors that these financial providers will create for you. Stick with the simple one. You'll be better off for it. Thanks for listening.